We are delighted to be joined today by the writer-director of Man Up, streaming at Cinemagic from the 23rd of October. Benjamin, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about being the writer and director of the film and how that came about?
Okay. My name is Benjamin Parent. I'm a director and I'm also a writer. I wrote for myself or for other people. Sometimes it's easier to write for other people because it's less challenging in for the emotion, and it's less personal. Even if I try to make it personal every time. I came with the idea of Man Up. I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe in 2014, with friends, we were brainstorming, and we found the concept, the main idea, which is a spoiler. So I won't talk about it. And we put it on the side. We put it on the side for 2 years, and I remembered I had a meeting with producers, and I told them the story like in I don't know, maybe 5 seconds. Like, oh, I have that idea, and they say, oh, we love it. We want to do it, and I say, okay, so let's go. And it's funny because I was trying to make my first feature with another story, very personal, very related to my family, almost the same story as my family, and I struggled a lot to do it. And with Man Up, it's the inspiration came from the same place, but it's way different from my life. So it was easier to do it, even if it's very, very personal. And it's about my brother, my mom, my dad, the way I grew up. And so I wanted to make an entertaining movie, you know, about which is also a drama, because I like to mix things. For me, I like when people in the audience cry, laugh, and are scared and think. So it's 4 things, you know: to cry, to laugh, to think, and to be scared. So I try to do it with those fun. I try to do it. I don't know if I succeed, but I tried it. And so yeah, it's my first feature, and it's a lot about my teenagehood, the way we try to become, the way I try to become a man. What is a man today? What is being a man? And I try to give some answers with the movie, with that subject.
Thank you. And yes, you have achieved that so very well. And with the themes then in the film, just touching on the theme of family relationships, and in this instance, grief, but then a very uplifting ending, which we won't give away. But how important then do you think it is to get those universal issues across on screen, so that people around the world can perhaps relate to some small element of those issues?
Okay, I'm going to say it in French for Nathan. L'idée pour moi, c'est d'essayer j'ai jamais vraiment essayé j'ai pas pensé forcément à une universalité dans mon travail, mais en tout cas, j'ai essayé de penser aux choses, moi, qui me touchaient. Et je pense que donc je n'ai pas du tout essayé de faire un film sur le deuil, par exemple. Je te laisse traduire.
So it wasn't necessarily thinking of a universality of anything. It was more to deal with themes that touched him and that he felt were important.
Donc en fait, je n'avais pas une grande expérience du deuil. Et surtout, moi, je voulais parler du deuil d'une certaine masculinité. Et je l'ai illustré par un deuil réel.
I didn't want to approach it from a kind of a masculine point of view, so he wanted to approach it more from a realistic and natural point of view.
Thank you. And Benjamin, then, looking at the sort of project then as a director, do you think very differently when you are directing the film, and do you leave the writer in you behind?
When you asking when I'm directing something that I didn't write?
Well, whenever you have directed this film and you're also the writer,
Sure.
do you then just be the director when you're on set, or do the two intertwine?
Yeah, that's the main problem. My DOP, Pierre Cotreau, said to me, the problem with you, writer, director, is that you still are the writer on the set, and it's not a good thing. So you have to kill the writer. So we had a mimic. We had I was mimicking, shooting the writer in the head. So that's me. And the thing is, it was a very difficult shooting. You know, during the shooting, I realized that we don't have enough money and time to do what I have in mind. It was messed up. So I had to rewrite every day and to adapt and to suppress some scenes. I asked for the help of my co-writer at the time, Théo Courtial, and sometimes he was like, I called him. I said, okay, on Thursday we are going to shoot that scene. The main problem with that scene is that. What do you think about it? And so he was rewriting for me, and sometimes I did it myself, of course. I remember one scene, the scene between Tom and Steve on the balcony, which is one of my favorite scenes of the movie, because you can see that the bad guy is not a bad guy; it's just a point of view. I rewrote the scene like 20 minutes before shooting. It was like, it doesn't work. So sometimes I think the movie is a bit messy, sometimes because of that. But the thing is, I love screenplay. I respect screenplay and writing, but when you're on set, there's another reality, and you have to be in the moment. You have to adapt and try to achieve something. So yeah, rewriting. I rewrite a lot, and maybe with I think I didn't let myself as a director exist the way I meant to be, and for the next project, I will be more of a director, because it was very frustrating for me as a director, because I was too focused, I think, sometimes on the writing, and
well, it must be difficult to separate the two as well, but then it has advantages as well. When you are on set and you did need to rewrite something, you were able to do that in a short space of time. Thank you. And Benjamin, what was it like then working on set with the young people involved? I'm sure it was a fun experience. And did the young people bring, some vibrancy and energy then to the whole production?
So it was not the first time I worked with young actors. I started with my short film, 8 years ago, and it was a success. So it was the first time for me, my first real directing, and the first time I worked with young people, and some of them became some great actors right now in France. So it was maybe easier for me at the time to work with that kind of actors. But the main difference is that I think the mastering of the craft, you know, Benjamin Voisin, which plays the older brother, is a very good actor, and he is going to be a star in France. You know, it's actually it happens right now. So it was easy to work with him. It was more difficult with the main character because he was less experienced, and for the comedy aspect, it was not a thing. So I have to change a lot of the writing for the character, because if you're not funny, you're not funny. You can't fake being funny. But I do love to work with young actors, because and I give them a lot of room, you know, to sometimes like, okay, you're not going to say that line like that. Why? Okay, do it your way, because I'm not obsessed with the text. The most important thing is the subtext. So if you can tell it another way, you have to. And it was great to work with, because I worked a lot with young actors. So for me, it was the first time I worked with in a feature with older actors like Isabelle Carré or Laurent Lucas, and it was great. I remembered one time with Laurent. It was the scene. He's in a car and he's smoking a cigarette and he's calling his son, and we take the time to do like maybe 10 takes, you know, and takes after takes. It was great, because we approach the truth of the scene, and for me it was I told him it was working with a Rolls Royce, you know, or a Stradivarius, you know, the violin, because he has a lot of experience. He understands, and he then knows how to do it. That's the most difficult part with young actors, is they have to understand what you're saying, what you're expecting, and be able to do it. With experienced actors like Laurent or Isabelle, it's right away, and it's great, because it's quicker, and you say, okay, now we can explore, because we got it. So we can, with young actors, you struggle to get the one take you need. That's the main difference.
And then what about the locations? Did you work closely with the location manager to find a number of the places that you used for filming? And was that enjoyable for you, searching out the perfect location to tell the stories?
It depends. For the high school, it was great, because that's the first high school we visited, and it was great. I loved it. I loved the greenness around the school, the wood and stuff like that. So, and it was a huge. So you know, you can do a lot of stuff there. For the rest of the sets, you know, when you're on a small budget, what I have learned is, like, you don't do what you want, you do what you can sometimes. And I think maybe one of my problem as a director is I'm too bendy. It's like, okay, no problem. I have to, you know, it's difficult to find your own voice, to know when you say, no, I don't want that, I want that, and that's it. Yeah. And when you have to be cool about it. So for many other places, it was like, I'm glad about the sets, but sometimes it's like you can do what you have in mind. And it's very frustrating, you know. And I have learned that on the set, so the hard way. I don't recommend it. I recommend a lot of preparation, you know, months and months before shooting. For me, it was a very hard times to learn this way. And I know a director. I don't recall his name. The director of Mud, this American director, and he is writing. When he's writing, he's thinking about a house, a castle. I don't know, and he wants that house to be found, and that's it. You have to find it, and that's a luxury when he. It depends of your budget, but I think it's great because you know how it looks, and for me, I wrote scenes in a house, and we don't find the house I have in mind, of course. So you have to adapt every time. Directing on small budget, it's always about adapting to
Yeah.
the reality of the moment.
And it sounds like you are very flexible and you are open to adapting, but I know what you're trying to say is that sometimes you are easily persuaded. If there is
Yes,
a problem, you can
yes,
say, okay, let's do it, you know,
yes,
to get the
yes,
film made.
yes.
And then as the director, how did you feel seeing the final film, you know, the final piece? I'm sure you were very proud as a first time director. And how did you feel really when you saw the final product?
Uh,
Hopefully happy.
Now, it was, to be frank, because I never lied about it, it was the opposite. I'm very, very harsh with my work and myself. And I don't want to disrespect the people I'm working with, but it's not, it's never good enough for me. It's like a curse, but that it's making me continue, you know, to say, okay, the next one will be better. But it was very, very hard for me because yeah, because that was not what I have in mind. A lot. I'm very glad about the emotion of the movie. For that, it's great. I can say that. I'm when we are in a theater and I see people crying, I'm happy.
Yes, yes.
I said, okay, we did it, and that's the purpose of movie, of a movie. But for as a director, I'm not very happy with my work, with the way I shot it. It's sometimes I'm thinking, oh, it's too static, and but you know what, it's a learning process. Okay, it's not the masterpiece I have in mind, but that's okay. No, at the beginning I hated the film, but it's always the case with my work. But now I'm okay with the movie since I met people in theater, you know,
Yeah.
um, when they are happy about it. But I will say it in French because I want to be sure to be good at it. J'aime bien dire que quand les spectateurs voient le film que j'ai fait, moi, je vois uniquement le film que je n'ai pas fait.
He likes to, whenever he watches the audience that watch the movie, he likes to see the movie that he didn't make. Vous avez autre chose à ajouter à ça pour expliquer un peu?
Yeah. So they watching the movie I made, and I'm watching the movie I didn't made because I'm thinking about the ghost movie, the perfect movie, which is in my head and does not exist. And this work is about the ability to be near the idea you have every time. It's not like it's in your head. It's impossible to have the same, but you have to try to do it. And I think great directors are approaching the idea they got in mind. But the most important thing is like no one knows the movie I have in mind.
Yes.
So you got what you got. So
Well,
that's the most important.
well, we are very proud to have the film at Cinemagic and
Yeah,
to,
thank you.
to enable our audiences to watch it over the coming weeks. And we're embracing the streaming platform, and in the future we would love to be able to screen the film in the theaters and in the cinemas, and perhaps have you there in
Oh yeah,
person to talk about your film
yeah.
and your career. And we wish you all the very best in your next projects?
J'étais pas sûr que tu viendrais.
Hein? Bah évidemment que je suis là. Premier jour, nouveau lycée.
Salut.
Mec, ce qui compte, c'est la première impression.
Hey, salut.
Pourquoi tu rigoles, frère?
Oublie la meuf.
Elle est trop stylée pour toi.
T'es pas à la hauteur.
Tu regretteras pas de m'avoir choisi.
Je t'ai pas choisi, j'ai pris ce qui restait.
Je pensais passer voir ton frère. Tu veux venir?
Il va falloir débarrasser les affaires de Léo.
Garde tout. Personne touche aux affaires
On
de
peut
Léo.
pas tout garder, non?
Non.
T'as perdu quelqu'un?
Toi, tu gères comment?
Te tourne pas. Fais le mec mystérieux.
C'est juste qu'il est là quand j'ai besoin de lui. Il me rassure, c'est tout.
Craque pas, putain, ne craque pas. Si t'as pas honte, ils peuvent rien contre toi.
Je suis dingue, hein. Complètement schizo.
T'avais pas le choix. T'as fait ce que t'avais à faire. D'accord?
Cool et détendu. Léo, il est avec toi là? Parle pas de ça ici, toi t'es dingue ou quoi?
Tom, personne ne remplacera jamais Léo. Il sera toujours mon fils, ton grand frère. Toujours.
C'est fini. Alors dis-moi pourquoi je suis encore là. Je vais y arriver.
Tom, t'es courageux. C'est pour ça que tu t'en es sorti, tu m'entends? T'es à la hauteur.
Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.